It's Thursday, January 30. In the headlines, Investment Minister urges banks to reduce interest rates. Jamaica on alert for strawberry quick drug. In business news, taxpayers get waiver on penalties. Regionally, Antigua and Barbados to host Organization of American States General Assembly in June. And in sports, Montego Bay beat Waterhouse 3-0 in Premier League action. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Industry Minister Senator Auburn Hill is calling on banks to lower their interest rates in response to recent cuts by the Bank of Jamaica. The central bank has reduced its benchmark policy rate 4 times since August, bringing it down from 7% to 6% as of December 23. However, Hill says financial institutions should pass on the benefits to consumers.
We need to make sure the banks understand that, and people need to see that. And there's a reason why I'm asking for it. Apart from the fact that I understand how this thing works, since I've had to deal with it for many, many years. Economic growth, which is what we have to do after we put our fiscal house in order. Economic growth cannot happen with very high interest rates.
He says a thriving economy isn't possible when borrowing costs are too steep.
It's in the bank's interest, it's in ordinary Jamaicans' interest who will pay less interest, it's in business interest that the bank lending rates come down as quickly as they can.
The minister acknowledges that banks need to stay profitable, but says more can be done to lower rates for customers.
Banks have to run their business. We want to make sure they're profitable, but the central bank has indicated that the non-performing loans of the bank is about 2.4%. That's a very, very acceptable number. So we know we're not pressuring the bank to go and make bad loans. That's far from me, who run NCB here, and I'm not interested in that. But we need to make sure that we get those rates down.
Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Ford, is taking members of the opposition to task after they failed to attend the last 2 meetings of the Joint Select Committee of Parliament that is examining the constitutional amendment bill. Minister Malahoo Ford made the charge on Wednesday during an appearance at the weekly post-cabinet media briefing at Jamaica House. The Andrew Holness administration has indicated that it wants the constitutional reform done in phases, with the removal of the British monarchy being the first step. But the People's National Party is demanding that the first phase includes moving away from the London-based Privy Council and making the Caribbean Court of Justice Jamaica's final appellate court. Speaking to the press on Wednesday, she reiterated the reasoning between the phased process of constitutional reform.
We are re-establishing the foundations of government for greater accountability at all levels of government, to the people, in a government, by the people, of the people, and for the people. The goals have been clearly identified, and we are embarking on the implementation in phases. And that is primarily to ensure that we do not risk any instability in our democracy, that we continue to improve on what has worked well for us.
Opposition leader Mark Golding attended the Constitutional Reform Committee meeting on January 15 and questioned the government's motive of not removing the Privy Council as a final court immediately.
The bills to move to the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, as Jamaica's final court of appeal, were tabled in this Parliament for the second time 10 years ago, Are the people of Jamaica not entitled to be told why the government has not tabled the CCJ bills again, thereby signaling that both sides, government and opposition, will work together to accomplish the twin objectives of transitioning both from the British monarchy and from the British monarch's court?
Speaking at this week's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister Malahoo Fort said it would have been more appropriate for Mr. Golding to have requested a meeting with the Prime Minister where his questions could have been raised. However, she used the occasion to give some answers.
Let me immediately say that views on this matter are progressing. And the truth is that no, there is no consensus on which final court for Jamaica, but there are 3 options for consideration.
On the matter of Jamaica contributing monetarily to the CCJ but not using it,
Jamaica is already a part of the court. It subscribes to the original jurisdiction of the court, which deals with Caribbean community matters under the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. So it is not true to say that Jamaica is paying for a court that it is not using. Jamaica is a member of the original jurisdiction of the court as the community court dealing with Caribbean community matters.
Mr. Golding also asked,
how can the vast majority of the Jamaican people be left behind, particularly in a process of decolonization? Is it not they who colonization had made less fortunate? Why should they continue to remain deprived of the fundamental right of access to justice at the highest level?
It is not true to say that Jamaicans are being denied justice, and the denial of justice relates to which final court we have. It is not true. The approach of the Wholeness Administration on this matter of the administration of justice, as we move to reform and relay the foundation, is to take a holistic look at the judicial branch of government. And we indicated very clearly that that would be in phase 2.
The Ministry of Education says it has not identified any incident of the strawberry quick drug in local institutions.
I, like many Jamaicans, have received those WhatsApp messages showing the pink candy, which is in fact a drug, being circulated. And so many individuals have reached out to me. And I know as soon as I saw it, I asked that the ministry check with the various regions and schools to see if they have seen this in our country. And so far, there are no verified reports of the strawberry quick in our schools. So there's no verified reports of it in our schools.
Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says while there are no verified reports of the drug, schools are also being advised to reinforce messages against drug use. The ministry says it will continue to actively monitor and work closely with law enforcement and school administrators to ensure the safety of students. But parents and guardians are being urged to have open discussions with their children about the dangers of accepting food or candy from unknown sources. Parents and guardians are being urged to seek immediate medical attention if ingestion of the fruit-flavored drug is suspected.
Nonetheless, we're urging all parents to have open conversations with their children about the dangers of accepting food or candy from unknown sources. The safety of our children is our top priority in the ministry. And so schools are being advised to reinforce these messages and to report any suspicious activity immediately to the Ministry of Education.
Strawberry quick drug, which was first introduced in California in 2010, is a twist on an old drug, methamphetamine, and resembles Pop Rocks, a candy that fizzes and pops when inside the mouth. In some instances, the drug is being packaged as if it were common candy. Jamaicans are being encouraged to rate their experiences at police stations across the island. Assistant Commissioner of Police Desmond Brooks from the Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau says that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is interested in hearing from civilians in order to make improvements to service delivery. ACP Brooks, who was addressing the Police Civilian Oversight Authority's Citizens Corner podcast, says some facilities feature kiosks where citizens can provide feedback electronically, while others distribute short questionnaires.
We are rolling out ISO 9001 certification, and yes, Matilda's Corner has been certified, so is Duane Park and some of the supporting facilities, and we're further rolling it out. The idea is the entire police facilities across the country will be ISO certified. So it is important then that we know and understand the needs and expectations of the citizen. One way of doing that is to ask the citizen at the end of a service to participate in a survey. So at the end of that survey, we would put together, do the analysis, and then we will come to some conclusion as to the level of satisfaction with services, the level of satisfaction with facility, and sometimes it goes right down to individual, which police persons are most satisfied with.
He says if someone struggles with the English language, the kiosks are designed with intuitive features like smiley faces and emojis, ensuring everyone can participate. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. The Palladium Hotel Group is to construct 2 new luxury hotels in the parish of Hanover in Jamaica at a cost of €350 million. The announcement was made at the 2025 International Tourism Trade Fair held in Madrid, Spain, which ran from January 22nd to January 26th. The hotel group announced that the 2 new hotels in Jamaica, belonging to the Grand Palladium Select and Family Selection brands, will add close to 1,000 rooms to the island's offering. Tax Administration Jamaica is advising taxpayers that the Special Arrears Settlement Program is in effect until March 31, 2025. This program provides an opportunity for all businesses and persons, whether self-employed, companies, or organizations, to clear their debts without additional costs typically associated with late filing and payments related to several tax types, and then become compliant. The Special Arrears Settlement Program is designed to waive or remit interest, penalty, and surcharge accrued once outstanding principal taxes are paid by March 31st. Tax Administration Jamaica says it's expecting to rake in $10 billion in outstanding taxes through the Arrears Settlement Program. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, research shows that the value of the economy after adjustments are made for the levels of inflation accumulated between the years 2007 and 2024 was only 796.98 billion Jamaican dollars. Statin says that this is an indication of the country's low levels of productivity and the negative effects of the cost of production as well as the cost of living. For the trading period ending January 29, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Online Educator One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 16,734,915 units traded, representing 34.07% of market sales volume. Microfinance firm Lasco Financial Services Limited, with 4,267,723 units traded, accounting for 8.69% of market sales volume. Financial conglomerate JMMB Group, 7.25% variable rate JMD preference shares with 4,174 units traded, representing 8.14% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On January 29, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $51.82 million was purchased and US $61.62 million was sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.35 per dollar, selling the US at $158.13 and buying the US at $156.78. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $3.51 per transaction, with selling at $111.25 and buying at $107.74. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.32 in profits, with selling at $196.91 and buying at $195.59. For our credit report tip of the day, the gold standard for credit scores is 850 points, which allows you to get the lowest interest rate in the marketplace. So do you know what your number is? As a self-employed professional, visiting your banker to discuss creditworthiness is a crucial step toward building financial stability. Here are some options. Seek advice on building credit. Inquire about strategies tailored to your financial situation. Explore business credit options. Ask about using business credit instead of personal credit. And then discuss loan products. Learn about lines of credit, term loans, or other small business loans. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda is gearing up to host a major diplomatic event, the 55th General Assembly of the Organization of American States in June. Officials say the talks will focus on critical issues affecting the country's economy. With over 1,000 delegates expected from across the Americas, it promises to be a significant gathering. Garfield Burford reports.
It will be the first OAS General Assembly since the return of Donald Trump to the White House. The region is reverberating with a drumbeat of geopolitical murmurs. There is no doubt, therefore, the talks in June will be highly consequential. So what issues will Antigua and Barbuda as the host country want to place on the front burner?
You'll be shocked when I tell you this. None. And I want to tell you why Antigua is not going to take a frontal position on issues. First of all, there'll be enough contentious issues. What we will not do is add fuel to that fire. I think our role as chair must be to smooth out the edges, to build the bridges, to intensify the dialogue, not to add more to it.
The issues set to be discussed are not only crucial to the hemisphere, but to the global community. The message to Antiguans and Barbudans, therefore, is to take a keen interest in the issues to be discussed during the 55th OAS General Assembly.
All of the issues that are going to be discussed at this meeting affect Antiguans. It's not just the political issues. It's not just immigration and human rights and the entitlement to travel. All of the human rights that are set out in the inter-American system and in the principles of the United Nations Charter. But those rights are important to us. We want the right to elect our own governments. We don't want to be dictated to from some outside government. We don't want to be threatened with military intervention because we don't have the capacity to fight that back. We depend on the international system to protect us. We have a vested interest in that.
Meanwhile, here's the grouping's Assistant Secretary General, Ambassador Nestor Mendez, on why these talks are crucial to all residents of this country.
Some of the issues that are likely to be discussed, even if it's in the periphery, will affect our people directly. So this is not something happening far removed from everybody. This will affect our region.
Barbados' economy is in a strong position with 4% growth last year and another 3% projected for 2025. That's the word from Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge as he delivered a review of the country's economic performance for 2024. Anesta Henry has more.
Barbados achieved a robust economic growth in 2024, marking 3 consecutive years of expansion and surpassing the estimated global growth rate. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, reports real GDP increased by 4%, driven by strong performances in business services, tourism, construction, and retail trade sectors. He says inflation fell to 1.4% due to stabilizing price pressures, while the unemployment rate dropped to 7.1% compared to 8.3% at the end of September 2023.
The economic performance also aided the fiscal performance, and government recorded surpluses both on the overall balance and the primary balance. Indeed, the primary balance was up 3%, 5.3% of GDP compared to 3.6% in the previous year. We saw the reserve reaching a record high of $3.2 billion, a record year-end high, with 184% increase over the year. The current account deficit narrowed almost by half, moving from $1.1 billion to $641 million. And given the economic expansion and the performance on fiscal, the debt to GDP ratio continued to contract, coming to 103% by the end of the year.
Dr. Greenidge adds commercial banks and other financial institutions remain healthy and well capitalized, while credit quality is improving and non-performing loans dropping from 5% to 4.1%, one of the lowest in history. Tourism activity expanded significantly in 2024, with long-stay arrivals rising by 10% on the strength of expanded airline capacity. Cruise passenger arrivals rose by 40.8%, supported by 53 additional cruise calls.
We continue to see economy expanding, where it is now at the end of 2024. The economy has reached in nominal terms $14.3 billion, largest we have on record. And in real terms, real economic terms, it is $10.1 billion. And in our view, that's a milestone. We've crossed the $10 billion mark with respect to real economic activity.
Dr. Greenidge says the economy is expected to grow by 3% in 2025.
In terms of the immediate year, 2025, tourism, again, expected to continue strong momentum, leading the pack in terms of that, benefiting from increased airlift capacity, higher foreign bookings already we've seen, and also we've seen the cruise industry an additional 34 cruise calls booked for 2025.
In Grenada, travelers passing through Maurice Bishop International Airport can soon expect a smoother experience as the government plans to install more kiosks to improve efficiency.
These kiosks will play a key role in the digitalization of the embarkation, disembarkation or ED card system, effectively replacing the traditional paper cards that passengers complete on entering the country. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell during the sitting of the Lower House of Representatives on Tuesday.
With having no kiosks installed at the Maurice Bishop International Airport, with the view to having our embarkation card, or what is called the ED card, also being done fully online.
Digitalization has been an ongoing area of focus under the leadership of Prime Minister Mitchell, and this initiative is another step in Grenada's ongoing efforts to reduce reliance on paper-based processes.
For most of us, having to fill out this paper ED card is an annoyance. There's no other way to put it. So we are working steadfastly to have this done so that it can be done electronically.
While the Prime Minister expressed his desire to fully eliminate the paper-based ED card system, he acknowledged that it cannot be done at this time. This is primarily due to the lack of a comprehensive biometric system that would allow the government to capture and securely store data for citizens, returning nationals and international visitors.
I've asked why we couldn't eliminate it altogether, but for security reasons, we are not yet in that position to do so. And the main security reasons would be, most people ask, for example, when you go into the United States, you don't need to fill out an ID card. And that's because the United States has a visa regime in place that essentially takes all of your biometrics in advance, so that by the time you land in the US, they pretty much know everything about you already. We don't have that biometric system in place yet for all of our visitors or returning nationals. Hopefully, if we get it for nationals in particular, as we continue to work on those systems, then certainly nationals, we could get to a point where we eliminate the use of ID cards, even the electronic ones, altogether for citizens. But that would require us to have a fully biometric system where either your fingerprint or your retina or some other biometrical data is collected.
Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
In sports, we kick off with football as Montego Bay United made light work of Waterhouse FC on Wednesday with a 3-1 victory in their second round Jamaica Premier League game played at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. The round ends on Thursday with 4 more games. Leaders Mount Pleasant FA taking on Vere United, Arnett Gardens facing Humble Lion, Portmore United against Malines United, and defending champions Cavalier FC clashing with Tivoli Gardens. We turn now to cricket. The 2025 West Indies 4-day championship kicked off on Thursday with Director of Cricket Miles Bascombe highlighting its importance ahead of South Africa A and Australia's Test Series. Bascombe also announced Darren Sammy as the new head coach, adding that strong performances in this championship could lead to future opportunities.
As we embark on the 2025 edition of the West Indies Championship, I want to extend my best wishes to all the teams, players and support staff as they prepare for what promises to be an exciting and competitive season. This year holds special significance as we celebrate 60 years since the West Indies Championship was first held, then known as the Shell Shield. Over the past 6 decades, the tournament has been the bedrock of cricket development in our region, producing legends who have graced the international stage and inspired countless fans. It continues to serve as a crucial platform in our pathway for the growth of first-class cricketers and for building resilience and refining skills for the international arena. The 2025 championship introduces several innovative elements aimed at enriching the experience for players and fans alike. From the use of Kookaburra balls and the inclusion of pink ball day-night fixtures to the reintroduction of first innings points in drawn matches, we are committed to broadening the challenges faced by our players. These measures are designed to simulate the diverse conditions they will encounter on the international stage, building their adaptability and mental toughness, considering the ultimate quest to improve the standard of our Test cricket. The teams will once again battle for the prestigious Head the Week's trophy with the added incentive of an attractive prize purse of US $250,000 for the champions and US $100,000 for the runners-up. The 2025 West Indies Championship also precedes an 8-team series at home against South Africa and the start of a new World Test Championship cycle with a home series against Australia. We are thrilled about the continued participation of the West Indies Academy and the combined campuses and colleges, which reinforces our commitment to expanding opportunities for the emerging talent and the student athletes respectively. This tournament is a celebration of the passion, talent and legacy of West Indies cricket.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBC Jamaica. Thanks for watching.